It began as most great shifts in the galaxy do, with something small, not a war, not a discovery, not an empire's rise or fall. It began with a choice, a single human choosing to stop when the universe expected him to keep going. The starship Argus III had been charting the Helian drift when its scanners caught a faint distress signature. The signal was barely there, a dying thread of static, so weak the ship say I flagged it as an anomaly not worth investigating. In this part of space, distress beacons usually meant traps, pirates, warlords, scavenger syndicates. Anyone with self-preservation would have ignored it. But Captain Rowan Halley didn't. He read the signal twice, then stared at the empty dark ahead. "Change course," he said quietly. His first officer frowned. "Captain, the beacon's failing, could be hostile. Or it could be someone asking for help," Rowan replied. "Plot and intercept." The ship obeyed. 3 hours later they found a shattered escape pod drifting silently, its hull scorched and half-melted like something had chewed through the metal itself. Inside was a single figure, small, curled up, barely breathing, not human. Not any species Rowan recognized. Silver-white skin marked with faint glowing lines, hair like fine glass, eyes closed as if frozen in a moment of fear. They brought the alien aboard. Medical scans detected no lungs, no heart, no familiar organs, just a luminous core beating softly inside the chest, like a dying star trapped in flesh. The crew hesitated. They had never seen anything like it. Rowan didn't hesitate. "Save them," he ordered. His doctors didn't know if their equipment would even work on the alien physiology, but they tried. They used energy stabilizers instead of oxygen, sealed fractures with low-frequency stasis beams, and fed tiny bursts of biophotonic charge into the flickering core. Hours passed. Then the alien woke. Their eyes opened white, pupil-less, glowing. Light spilled gently from their skin as they sat up in confusion. "You're safe," Rowan said. "My name is Rowan Halley. You're aboard the human vessel Argus III." The alien stared at him for a long moment, as if studying his shape, his voice, the warmth of the room around them. Then they spoke, their voice soft and resonant. "I am called Aerith. You saved me," Rowan smiled. "Seems like the right thing to do." Aerith lowered their gaze. "No one does such things anymore." Over the next 2 weeks, while Aerith recovered, Rowan learned the truth. Their people were called the Luminaria, nearly mythic species who lived not through conquest but through harmony, traveling the stars with living vessels grown from energy and song. Their ships didn't use engines, they resonated with the cosmos itself. But harmony had a predator, a species that fed on light. The Krail. Rowan had heard whispers of them, artificial organisms, almost insect-like, built to consume energy and extinguish whatever they could not devour. "They destroyed my convoy," Aerith said quietly. "I survived by chance." Rowan frowned. "Why would they hunt your kind?" Aerith looked out the window at the stars passing by. "Because we burn bright." When Aerith was well enough to travel, Rowan offered to take them wherever they needed. Aerith placed a hand on the window. "My people are hidden. They must remain so." "If I return now, the Krail will follow," Rowan nodded. He understood. Some dangers were better not brought home. Before Aerith left, they pressed something into Rowan's palm, a crystalline shard, cool and dim. "A fragment of my core resonance," Aerith said. "If ever your people are in danger, break it, I will hear." Rowan laughed softly. "I doubt humans will ever need something like this." Aerith tilted their head. "Humans give freely. Such species are rare, protect them." Then they vanished into the void, riding a wave of light Rowan had no words for. Years passed. The shard remained untouched, tucked away in Rowan's uniform pocket like a strange souvenir. Humans continued exploring, settling, wandering. They built alliances, broke a few, survived the same way they always had, until the day the sky turned black. It began on Colony World Lyra 7. A mining outpost went dark. Everyone thought it was equipment failure. Then an entire sector stopped transmitting. Then 3 more. When scout ships were sent, they found nothing. Not debris, not bodies, just darkness like the light had been swallowed. Rowan, older now, wearing the insignia of a fleet captain, stared at the hollow displays of entire star systems blinking out like dying candles. "This has the pattern of coordinated attack," his analyst reported, but Rowan had seen this before. "Not attack," he whispered, "consumption." And then the Krail arrived. Massive biomechanical leviathans, hundreds of them, pouring into human territory like a plague of metal locusts. Their bodies were black mirrors reflecting nothing, their limbs shifting and reconfiguring as they flew. Stars dimmed around them as they fed. Human defense fleets fought bravely. They died bravely too. Within a month, 10 human colonies were gone. Within 3, Earth itself trembled under evacuation sirens. Humanity was running out of places to run. The Krail surrounded Jupiter. Then Mars, then the Soul Gate. They were cutting off every exit. Rowan stood on the bridge of the battleship Meridian, watching his people flee while Krail forces closed in. He had no miracle weapon, no superfleet. Nothing but a memory, a glowing alien whisper from years ago. Aerith's shard. He pulled it from his uniform. It no longer looked dim. It pulsed faintly like a heartbeat waiting for a signal. His first officer stared. "Sir, what is that?" Rowan exhaled. "Hope, I think." He crushed the crystal between his hands. It shattered into a wave of white light that pierced the darkness, spreading across space faster than human eyes could follow. For a moment, nothing happened. The Krail fleet advanced. Rowan closed his eyes. Maybe Aerith never heard. Maybe the Luminari were gone. Maybe the stars ignited. Not with fire or energy weapons or human engines. With song. Resonant, vibrating, impossible song that echoed through metal and bone alike. The dark around the Krail rippled like water as shapes emerged. Not ships. Beings. Luminari, thousands of them. Each one burning like a walking supernova wrapped in pale silver skin, their hair trailing streams of starlight. Their voices fused into a single harmonic note that made the Krail shudder. Rowan stared, speechless. "Aerith!" One figure stepped forward, brighter than the rest. Aerith themselves, now radiating with a power Rowan could barely comprehend. "You called?" Aerith said, their voice echoing through the coms without needing a channel. "And we answered." The Krail fired first. Beams of null energy, anti-light, waves meant to erase. But the Luminari absorbed them, turned them, converted them into pure radiance, and hurled them back. The battlefield became a storm of brilliance. Human ships drifted in stunned silence as the Luminari moved like dancers weaving destruction. Wherever they passed, Krail vessels withered, collapsed, evaporated. Each note of their cosmic choir shattered swarms. Each gesture emitted beams that tore leviathans apart. Rohan watched as Aerith extended both arms, releasing a shockwave of white that spread out like a tidal wave. Hundreds of Krail disintegrated instantly, but the Krail were endless. For every swarm destroyed, a new one poured from dark slipspace tiers. The void shook with their screeching. Rowan clenched his fists. "We can't just watch. All ships support them." Human ships raced forward, guns blazing, missiles streaking through the light storm. They fought like cornered animals, desperate and defiant. Their weapons barely scratched the Krail, but they gave the Luminari openings, moments, seconds. Seconds were enough. Rohan watched as Aerith burned brighter and brighter, their body almost too luminous to look at. "You're weakening," Rowan said through the cum. "It is the cost of protecting life," Aerith replied simply. Rowan felt something twist inside him. The Krail didn't fear, didn't hesitate, didn't stop. But humans did none of these things either. They attacked again and again, ships battered, engines failing, refusing to let their newfound allies burn alone. The battle raged for hours. By sunset over Earth, the Krail were broken. By midnight, they were extinct. The final Leviathan fell apart under a combined human Luminari barrage that lit up the solar system like a second dawn. And when the last echo faded, silence returned. Human ships floated, damaged but alive. Luminari dim now, exhausted, hovered nearby like dying stars. Aerith drifted toward Rowan's ship, glowing faintly. "You fought with us," they said softly. "We did not expect that." Rowan smiled wearily. "We didn't save you so you could die alone." Aerith's light flickered in something like amusement. Then we are alike, your kind and mine? Over the following months, humanity rebuilt with luminary guidance. They learned energy harmonics, repaired destroyed worlds, reignited dying suns. Human children grew up watching luminous beings teach them how to sing stars awake. Luminari learned about laughter, chaos, music, storms, cooking, sarcasm, everything human. Together they formed the first harmony accord, an alliance not of power but of mutual survival. Rohan retired not as a captain or a hero, but as something simpler, a man who had once stopped to help a stranger. Years later, at the anniversary of the Krail extinction, a brilliant monument appeared over Earth's sky, a floating ring of light inscribed in the universal tongue. It said, "One act of compassion can illuminate a universe. The darkness remembers the harm we do. The stars remember the kindness." At its center was a single glowing Chardon echo of the one Rowan had crushed long ago. And just beneath it, a small plaque written in both human script and luminary resonance. He saved one. And through him, humanity saved the stars.